One of the most common questions that I get is, Scott, why did you create the threats framework, and why did you put it in the Exit Ratio 360 book for exiting businesses in the mid-market? And my answer is, this is a fantastic question. You have to be prepared for the 7 items that you don't see coming. I'm Scott Sylvan, coming to you live from Honolulu, Oahu, on a perfect day to talk about business strategies, business exits, and the threats that you may not consider. So threats is an acronym, and it stands for turnover, hacks, reputation, economic disruption, actions, trouble, and surprises. And one of the things that most business owners are not aware of is you really want to have a team that is prepared to take over for you upon your exit. And if you can take them through these seven situations on a consistent basis and prepare them for what's going on, you have a company that is transferable, and that is important in the Exit Ratio 360. So turnover. You may have somebody that walks in and you weren't expecting and says, hey, I quit, I'm moving. Or somebody comes in and says, hey, somebody found me and wants to take me from this company and go to the competition. And so you want to have strategies, ideas, concepts in place to prepare for turnover. Or there's something wrong inside of the company that nobody's telling you about and it doesn't have the moral courage. So you have to figure out and dig in, why did it happen? Hacks. Hacks happen consistently across the board, across the nation, in every industry, product, or service. And what that comes into is somebody wants to come in and take your information. It could be across information from the internet. It could be that they sneak in and they steal SOPs and guides. A hack is a hack no matter what. Reputation. Sometimes things don't go the way that you plan. You say something, a client's not happy, they leave a bad review. And so one of the exercises that you could do is, what do we got to do to protect our reputation? What strategies do we have to put in place? What frameworks can we put in place before problems happen? And if you're paying attention to your reputation, it does help on your exit, because somebody wants to buy a squeaky clean company. You may get dings or dents from a private equity group, from a synergistic buyer, from a private buyer, if you have problems inside of your company. Economic disruption. A couple years back, there was pretty much a plague, and it was a disruption for anybody and everybody, and most people were not prepared for what happens. So economic disruption can come from sickness. Economic disruption can come from floods, from fire, from natural disasters, from areas or borders being shut down. And you might as well have a guide and a playbook set aside to say, what are we going to do? What's our game plan? What's our strategy? Actions. So a government agency comes in with like a 3-letter name and says, we're shutting you down, or we're giving you a fine, or we're levying something against you. You should be prepared in your industry, product, or service for the most common people to come in and either A, threaten to shut you down, or B, put a bad notice out about you when it comes to your product, your goods, your service, your offering. And if you're not prepared for that, the time window that you prepare today makes up for anything that could happen in the future. Trouble. Trouble can happen at the drop of a hat. Just random items can happen. Somebody can come in and cause some problems in your office. You may have an employee that's disruptive on the way out, and all of a sudden there's a lawsuit that you didn't know that was going to happen. And last on this list is surprises, that covers anything else that you could have a problem with that's not listed in threats. So turnover, hacks, reputation, economic disruption, actions, trouble, and surprises. Surprises are those random things that nobody ever really prepares for. And the problem is because nobody prepares for them, it's really hard to say, what are you going to do in this given situation? Surprises could be that you, as the founder, the CEO, the owner, ends up in the hospital and can't run the company for 3 months. Surprises could be that you're stuck in a different country and you can't get out because the borders are shut down. You want to prepare for threats. Now, here's the thing. When you can prove and log in for a potential buyer that you've gone through something like the threats framework and you've been consistent about it and you've got monthly documentation, this absolutely goes into your Titans thesis. This is one of the reasons that I wrote the Exit Ratio 360, was to help prepare you for the proper exit, for you to get your maximum multiple when you're done. When you say, hey, I'm all pow, as they say here in Hawaii, I'm all complete and everything is good to go. So be aware, you should absolutely go through the threats model at least once a month, at bare minimum once a quarter. If you're on a 5-year, 4-year, 3-year, 2-year plan, at 5 years out, you've got the opportunity to do 20 different threat assessments. At 4 years out, you got 16. But you have the ability to mold and help build your team. There you go. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here, just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it every time I send out a video. you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.